Please respond if anyone is at today first class. Let me share the last two demo video. Just you can check that class once, which is like Python 4 p.m. we start the class. Python 4 p.m. Just you try to open this link, everyone. When you open this link, it is asking password. Password for this link is Python, Python. Okay. Yeah. So if you type the password here, we get the two classes video links. Okay. Which is like day 1, day 2, just 2 demo classes we done. You try to check these 2 classes once. Okay. If anyone is new today.
Okay.
Yeah. Just demo, basic demos or introduction part we done. And the basic data types we completed. Just you can check these 2 classes once. Okay. Here the video links tab is there. Here you can find the video class 1 and class 2 link, right? Yeah. And if you want class notes here, the day 1 notes here and the day 2 notes here. Just you can check these 2 points. Okay. Good. Because in the last class we decided what are the data types in Python, basic data types in Python. Or to represent the data, what are the data types in Python? Tell me. To represent the basic data, we have the data types. What are the data types? Tell me. So one is data types. Yeah, one is integers. For the numeric data, we have the data types integer type. For the numeric data, we have the integer. Tell me int. For the decimal data, we have the float. For the string data, we have the str data type. For the Boolean data, we have the bool data type. Yes. So int means for numeric data, right? So for the numeric data, so just like 10, 20, 30, something like this. Float data type for the decimal data, guys. Decimal data means which is like point values, right? 10.5, 20.4, something like this. This is str representation like string data. String means to take one character, group of characters. Okay, string means to take one character, group of characters. String means basically to take what a group of characters, right? So I said in Python we can define the in the double quotes. String we can define the single quotes, or you can define triple quotes also. But the recommended approach is what? Double quotes is recommended approach, right? Yeah. Guys, come to Boolean data type. So we have the data type Boolean data. Data type is a Boolean, bool, guys. Data type is a bool. The type is like Boolean, right? Exactly. Because here we have the data type constants true and false constant. In true and false constants, T must be capital. False means what? F must be capital, right? Because true means T must be capital. If false means what? F must be F must be capital, right? Exactly. Because true means T must be capital. False means what? F must be F must be capital, right? Yeah, these are basic data types that we have in Python. After these basic data types, we have some advanced data types, guys, that I will tell you later. But the basic data types to represent your data, so we have the type integer, float, string, and what? Boolean, right? Is that clear now? Good. Because last class we declared the variable declaration. If you want to integer numbers means something we can take the data num1 comma num2 equal to 10 comma 20. So num is by default what type of data? So num is by default. I told you Python is dynamically typed language. Dynamically typed language means data type declaration required, not required. Guys, which is done the class 2, I think. Just you can check the class 2 once. Python is dynamically typed language, guys, so the data type declaration not required. So result equal num1 plus what? Num2. Then I'm trying to print what? Result, right? Exactly. Okay, this is the code. Okay, num1 comma num2 comma. Yes, num1 comma num2 comma num3 means. So before equal to how many variables we defined? After equal to those many number of values we have to give, right? Yeah, 10, 20, 30, right? That is fine, guys. The next one is result equal num1 plus num2 plus what? Num3, right? Num1 plus num2 plus what? Num3. Just I'm printing result. But some cases, see guys, for the val1, val2, val3, if I want to initialize the same value. For the val1, val2, val3, if you want to initialize the same value, just like 10, this is the syntax, guys. Val1 equal to val2 equal to what? Val3, right? Just we can take the 10. Just we can take the 10, right? Exactly. Then again result equal to result equal what? Val1 plus val2 plus what? Val3. I'm trying to print the result, right? Exactly. I told you, so initial 2-3 classes, no need to install, no need to install like Python. So just to do the practicals using, guys, first 2-3 classes, no need to install the Python. Just do the practicals using. Tell me, just do the practicals using what? Online compiler.
Online compilation.
Yeah. So let me check the online compiler once. So just you can type Python online compiler. Python online compiler REPL. The REPL is the best website here to check the online compiler. Yeah, because 2-3 days classes, we will do the practicals using this online compiler. This online compiler, right? Exactly. Because once if you open this online compiler, repeal.com languages online compiler, just you can go down, guys. Here it is asking like here you can select, you can write the Python code, guys. Here you can write the Python code. Just click on run button. Once if you click on run button, then what happened? The output you can see here, right? Exactly. So the code I written like num1, num2, num3. Just you can place the data here. Just you can click on run button. So guys, first case we got the output is 60 because 10 plus 20 plus 30. Total output is what? 60, right? Second case the output is what? 30 is output, right? Guys, statements are clear now. 60 and 30 is output, guys. Guys, are clear now? Good. There is a point, guys. Example 1 and example 2. If I want like employee details, just tell me what the employee details generally we will take. Employee data, which is employee ID equal to, yeah, employee ID equal 111, and employee name equal to something like you can take the string data, and employee salary equal to something like float data 10,000.45. Employee status is existed or not existed. Employee status equal true, right? Yeah, guys, but instead of declaring the data like how many lines of code here? 4 lines, right? Instead of declaring like 4 lines, can you make it as a single line, right? Employee ID comma, tell me employee ID comma, employee name comma, employee salary comma, employee ID name is salary, next one is what? Status, right? Equal to employee ID triple one, employee name is what? Employee name is Ratan, and employee salary is like 10,000.45, and employee status is true, right? Exactly. Because you can do like this, otherwise you can do single line like this, it's not a problem, right? Because first case, let me print the data. Okay. Sir, you said like employee ID is by default integer type. I want to see the like no type. Because to check the type of the data, there is which function here? Type function, right? Type of EID. Tell me guys, type of EID and type of what? E name. Next one is what? Type of type of what? Employee salary, E salary. Last one is what guys? Type of what? Status, right? Exactly. Guys, let me run up to this one. Just you can place the code here. Okay, this is last class we done. That's what just I'm moving a bit fast. Employee ID triple one, employee name is Ratan, employee salary, so employee status, right? Simply can run this code, guys. We got the output like by default, this is like integer type, guys. Because Python is what type of language? Dynamically type, right? Guys, Python is what? Dynamically type. So this is by default integer type. This is like string type, float type. This is called Boolean type, right? Exactly. Yeah, Boolean type, right? Yeah, good. Because see here, I declared the 4 values. I define like 4 values. I want print this data, guys. I want to print the data. Generally, to print the data, directly can print like EID. Tell me, guys, EID. Next one is like EID and employee name. Guys, employee ID, employee name, just employee salary. Just I'm printing three values here. Yeah, ID, name, and what? Employee salary, right? Exactly. Because just I'm printing these values like this. We can print this code like this. It's not a problem. Otherwise, if you need some extra message, something like string format, employee ID. There's employee ID. Just you can put the comma, guys. I want substitute that variable. Because in Python, just we can give the comma separator to take the data, right? Comma separator just to take the data. Employee ID. Tell me, guys, employee ID. Next one is what? Employee name. Next one is what? Employee salary. Last one is what? Employee ID, name, salary. That's it, right? 3 values I want to print. Okay, fine. Guys, EID. Next one is comma E name, comma last one is what? E salary, right? Guys, EID, comma E name, comma E salary, right? Yeah, guys, this concept like, data printing. Whatever the data we took, I want to print the data. Guys, to print the data, first way you can do like this, it's not a problem. Or you can go for the second way is what? Guys, what the second way here? Just you can give the extra message, right? Yeah, exactly. This is the code, guys. Observe carefully. Just I declared three variables. Just I defined three variables. Just I'm printing those variables like this, right? Is it correct or not? Just you can run this code. See the message, guys. Yeah. Employee ID, which is like the integer type. Employee name is Ratan, and employee salary is what 10,000.4 per it. Employee ID is like 111. Employee name is Ratan. Employee salary is what 10,000.45, right? Exactly. Employee salary equal to 10,000.45, right? Very good. But some students will write the code like, so print off. So just I want to give that code like this: employee ID, comma, employee name, comma, employee salary. Because even just a comma separator, we can take the multiple values. It's not a problem. Guys, just you can take the comma separator to take the multiple values, right? See the code, guys, 111 Ratan, 10,000.45, right? Guys, we can write the code directly printing the variable with some extra messages. You can print the variable, or we can take the data with the comma separator, right? Yes or no? With the comma separator or not? Exactly. But some cases, sir, I want extra message only. Guys, I want extra message only with this data. Extra message only with a single line. What we will do, like, employee ID. Employee ID, just you can put the comma, employee ID, comma. Next one is what? Employee name. Employee name, just you can give some comma. Last one is employee salary, right? Exactly. Guys, this line is also definitely valid. Just if you want, you can print this code. Simply can click on run button. Last line. See, guys, employee ID 111, employee name is Ratan, employee salary is 10,000.45, right? Yeah, I think this is also valid. Guys, different ways just we are representing your data. Employee ID, employee name, employee salary. First case, we are printing the data like this: EID, name, salary. Second case like this with some extra messages. Depends on your requirement, whatever the approach you want, just you can use that approach, guys. The third case like this, and the fourth case like this. But see, guys, the fourth case, it seems like, bit multiple commas are there, right? Guys, fourth case is what? Bit multiple commas are there. That's what I feel like, this is not that much standard approach. Let me take the example with some standard approach. Sir, what is a standard approach? Because basically, guys, example one is clear, data printing.
Yes.
Guys, how many data types in basic data types in Python? Guys, basic data types in Python. What are the basic data types in Python? Tell me. Int,
Float,
string,
string,
boolean, right?
String.
Yeah. So we don't have any character in Python, and even string. There is no character in Python. Everything is a string format, guys, which you can take double quotes, single quotes, triple quotes also. Numeric data means only int type we have. If you want three variables, you can take like this if different values are there. But if it is the same value, means you can do coding like this. Okay, good. So Python is dynamically typed language. We no need to declare the data type, right? Python is what type of language, guys? Dynamically typed language. No need to declare the. No need to declare what data types, right? Exactly. If you want to check the type of the data, we are using type function, right? Type of EID means integer. Type of ENAME means what? String. Type of salary is like the float. Type of status is what? Bool, right? Exactly. And the data printing, guys. So we can go with the data printing like this. The first case, right? Yeah, exactly. This that is the first one. The next one is what? Example 2. Yes, but printing the data with the commas like this, I feel like, not that much recommended approach. Then what is the recommended approach I will tell you. Okay, what is the recommended approach? Because the recommended approach, like, the recommended approach, like, there are three ways you can format the data. there are like three ways to what format the data. What are the three ways? Number one, using like percentile option, guys. Guys, number one, using which option here? Percentile option. Guys, how many ways you can format the data means there are what three ways you can format the data. One is like percentile option. Second one is what, guys? Using format function. Guys, using what? Format function. Third one is what? Using f. F is also nothing but a format only. One is using what? F, right? Yes, one is using what? F or not? Exactly. Sir, what is these three ways, sir? Guys, first one is the percentile option. Basically, to represent the integer value, guys, percentile d we need to take, just like which is like C language concept, C language formatting. Int means what? Percentile d. If you take the float means what? Percentile f I can use and percentile g I can use. Guys, float means how many approaches? Guys, data printing or formatting. Data printing or what? Formatting, right? Data printing or formatting. There are three ways to format the data, guys. One is using percentile option. Second one is what? Using format function. Okay. Third one is so percentile means what? First case we are discussing, guys. Integer means you can take the percentile d. Guys, int means percentile d. Float means percentile g or percentile f. And the string, right? Str means percentile s we can use. Percentile s, right? Yeah. Sir, how can you make the data here? There's the same three values I can take. Observe the code, but the same three values I can take. So just you can take the data like employee ID. Guys, employee ID. What I can do? Employee ID. Yeah. Guys, which is like employee ID. Yeah, employee ID, guys. Employee ID just you can make the equal to. Just equal is not mandatory, guys. Just I'm formatting the data. Just employee ID colon or equal, that is up to you. Employee ID is what type of data? Integer data, guys. Just you can take the percentile. Okay, employee ID percentile. Next one is what? Employee. Simply can take the colon. Yeah. Colon is not mandatory, guys. Employee name is what? Percentile. Yes, you can take a percentile. Yes. Yeah. Last one is what? Employee salary. Employee salary is what? Percentile. Percentile. EF I can take. Guys, employee ID percentile D. Employee name percentile yes, employee salary percentile F. Then we need to substitute total three constants here. Percentile D value. Guys, we need to substitute how many values? Three values. Percentile D value, percentile S value, percentile F value, right? Yeah, to substitute those three values, just you can use the percentile here. So just you can use the yeah, comma, percentile, just brackets you can use. Guys, first variable is what? EID variable. Second variable is what? ENAME variable. Third variable is the eSalary variable. Guys, here how many percentiles that we have? EID, employee name percentile yes, employee salary percentile F. Total how many percentiles? 3 percentile data, right? Right. 3 means then how many variables I substituted here? 3 variables, right? But here one more point we need to observe. The data should be like the type is important, guys. First one should be the integer type only. Second one should be the string type only. Third one should be the float type only. Otherwise, you'll get error message, guys. Make sure that the data is strictly typed here. Simply can run this code. Guys, it's saying invalid syntax. Yeah. I simply can run this code. We got the output. Why the syntax issue means I put the comma here. The comma is not required. Just take the three double quotes format, EID, ENAME, eSalary. Directly substitute the values using percentile. Previously, so most of the guys will put the comma here, but comma is not required. Directly you can take the percentile combination. Guys, the first way is clear. Guys, first approach is clear.
It's like C, it's clear.
Just like C language. But this is a bit difficult approach here. I feel you feel maybe difficult approach. We can go for the second approach. The second approach very straightforward, which is like formatting. Employee ID, just you can take the braces. Guys, employee ID, what braces you can take? Employee name, just you can take the braces. Employee salary, just you can take the braces. Okay, in these braces, we need to place the data, right? To place the data in the braces, guys, instead of percentile here, we can use dot format function. Guys, which function we need to use? Dot. Guys, which function we have to use? Dot which function now? Format function, right? Exactly. Simply you can use like dot format function, right? Very good. Guys, simply run this code. The 2 times we got the output, right? Yeah. Guys, and compared to first approach, I think second approach bit better, right? Yes, when you compare to first approach, EID, E-name, E-salary, braces, you can take dot format function used. Definitely, I feel like second approach bit better. Even when compared to second approach, guys, third approach is very better. What is the
It's
third
better.
approach? Third approach saying like formatting. Formatting in the sense, starting of this thing you can put the F. Guys, starting of this thing you can put the F. Directly in the braces, you can substitute the variables that you need. Employee ID, and here in the braces employee name, or in the braces just you can put the employee salary, right? Employee salary. Then dot format is all or not required, guys. That's it. Guys, see here, starting you can put the F formatting. F means formatting the data. Formatting here. Employee ID, just you can put the braces EID. Employee name braces, you can put the employee name. Employee salary braces, you can put the E salary, right? Simply you can run this code. See the output, guys. Total how many lines of output you got total? 3 lines, right? Guys, tell me, this is a bit important, guys. There are 3 ways to format the data. One is using percentiles. One is using percentile, percentile D, percentile S, percentile F. Second one is using braces. Directly you can substitute how many braces you have, just you can substitute those values. Third one is directly formatting. F is there, right? Yes, most frequently, which approach we will use? Guys,
Formatting.
third approach we will use. We will use like F, right? Formatting, right? Exactly. Guys, third approach is simple, right? Formatting is simple, right? Yeah. And even some cases, guys, some websites, we can see like the second approach with indexing format. Guys, to understand like how many braces we have, we can go for the indexing. 0 index, 1 index, 2 index. Without index also 0, 1, 2, just you can make the empty braces, it's not a problem. But to understand more clearly, just you can put the indexes. By seeing this number so that we can understand that, okay, we can understand that how many values you are going to substitute, right? Guys, simply can run this total we got output how many times? 4 times, right? This is like percentiles, this is like formattings, this is like F, right? Yeah, so this is also giving the index is optional, guys, but to make the code more readability, to make the code more readable, just you can take the data like this. Guys, are you clear now?
Yes.
So generally data printing means most of the guys will print the code just like this, but better to use the formattings here. Even out of this formatting, which one is recommended approach here? Guys, out of these formattings, which one is recommended approach? The third approach is recommended, right? Only this approach is recommended, guys. Is everyone is clear about this point?
Yeah. If you want to print all data in separate lines, different lines, not in the same.
Not in the same, different lines. These 3 names you want to print. Something like you can use escape sequence characters in Python, which is like \n. \n I can use here, and I can use \n, right? And represents what a new line. See the output now. EID 111, E name is like Ratan, E salary is 10,000.45, right? Are you clear now? Yeah, \n we can use. Otherwise, we can take the backslash t. T represents like within the same line only tab space, right? Tab means what happens guys, with the spaces it will print. See, here we have like an almost all 5 spaces, right? More spaces we have, right? Yeah. So tab means what guys? Tab space. Yeah, backslash and frequently we will use to make the data like 2-3 lines of code. Backslash and backslash and backslash and backslash t means what guys? Tab space we can use, right? Exactly. Is it clear, right? Yeah. Guys, any questions? We can use the backslash and like this. Backslash and represents a new line, right? Yeah.
Formatting the data, not altering the data.
Sorry?
Ratan, it is just formatting the output, not altering the values, right?
Formatting in the sense just printing the data, right? What the data that we
Printing
have.
the data, yeah.
అంటున్నారు వాళ్ళందరూ టీవీ చూస్తున్నారు.
That's what I'm saying, just printing or formatting something.
Oh,
right?
okay.
వాళ్ళందరూ టీవీ చూస్తున్నారా?
Cool. Good. Okay, these examples are clear, right? First example, just printing the data. There are 3 ways to format the data. Third example, just like we can take the backslash and to represent the new line or backslash t, right? Exactly. And one more way representation for formatting, guys. See, for example, I took the num1 comma, okay, num1 comma, num2 comma, num3. Total 3 numbers I took the data. 10, 20, 30 is there, right? Guys, see, just I'm printing num1 comma, num2 comma, num3 is there, right? Yeah. Just num1, num2, num3 is printed, right? Yeah. You see, but in between the num1, num2, num3, I want to give like some 3 stars. Then how? In between the num1, num2, num3, I want to give like 3 stars or 3 spaces or $3 symbols. Like that, every between the 2 variables, I need to use like between the 2 variables, I want to use the what you can say. Between the variables, I want to use the stars, guys.
Using plus or
Between the variables, if you want to use any data, yes, between the variables, if you want to print any data, then we have one variable like separator variable, guys, SCP. The separator of this variable is like 3 stars. Can see the output, guys. That is your Python, yeah. It's your Python. Not only stars, like whatever the data we given here, just that data will be printed. I think we can take the dollars, or we can take like at the rate symbols. That's up to you. Separator means whatever separator you need, you can give the separators. Not only 2, 3, 4, you can give any number. That is up to you, right? Yeah, that's up to you guys. Or how many data you want, just you can give that many. This is separator, right? Separation between the variables, guys. Separation between the variables, right? Exactly. Guys, are clear now? Separation between the variable, right? Yeah. That's what, guys. Previously also here the formatting, even this line I can do with the separation also, right? Instead of giving this data multiple times, yeah, I think multiple times, just I can give like comma SCP equal to, just I can give a backslash and run this code. It may work. It may be taking complete thing as a one line, yes. Double quotes opening, double close closing, right? This is completely taken as one variable only. It doesn't took the multiple values. Ignore it. Yes, but the variables that we have like this num1, num2, num3, multiple numbers, like between the variables, if you want to give any, yes, between the variables, if you want to give any separator, the separator variable you can give, right? Guys, this is a 4 variables, 4 examples that your representation of your data or printing your data, formatting your data. The first case like EID comma ename comma ESRV. Second case formatting is like percentile and F, right? Third case backslash and new line and all. Fourth case, you can go for the separator, right? Guys, all 4 cases are clear, for examples.
Yes.
Yes.
Good. Good. Guys, one more small point. To check any predefined function, guys. Predefined function data. Assume like I have the printf function. Print is a function, right? I want to get some information about the print function. Then how? Guys, to get the information about any predefined function. To get the help of what? To get the help of predefined function. Just to get the help of what? Predefined function. Use help function on. Guys, to get the help of what? Predefined functions. Any predefined functions, guys. To get the help of any predefined functions. To get the help of any predefined functions, use what? Help, right? Exactly. Sir, how can we do this? Okay. Guys, simply, I'm trying to print of help function I want to use. Help of which function I want? Print only, right? Guys, help of what? Print function. When I click the help of print function, click and run. Here you will get the information about the print statement, guys. Guys, here we'll get the information about what? Print, right? Yeah, you'll get the information about the print function. Guys, any function to get the predefined information, predefined support, we need to use helper. Yeah. Yes, help of built-in function. Help on the built-in function print. In a modules is what? A built-ins module. Yes, in a module is what? A built-ins module, right? Actually, print is a function which is belongs to built-ins module, guys. Guys, print is a function belongs to which module here? Built-ins module, right? Yeah. So to get the help of any predefined functions, to get the help of any predefined functions, use what? Tell me.
Help function.
Get the any predefined function helper. We need to use help, right? Exactly. So see this code, guys. To see this code once, print of help. Yeah, to get any predefined functional, print of help, right? Help on the built-in function print mod printer. In module is what? Built-ins module, right? Is a print, guys. Guys, print is taking the data like no value. Guys, print is taking like data is nothing but a value. Value is nothing but a variable, right? Yeah, dot, guys. Multiple values you can give. And which contains attributes are what? Yes, which contains first attribute is what? Separator, right? Separator. And second attribute is what? End. File is what? Standard output, guys, because it is printing the data. Standard output you can take. Flush means auto flush attribute, guys, because it will refresh the data. Okay. See, guys, here we have the clear information. Print the values to the stream or to standard output default, right? Standard output by default. Optional keyword arguments, guys. Optional keyword arguments. First one, it is taking what? File. Second one is taking what? Default. Next one is what? End. Next one is what? Flush, right? Exactly. Guys, first let me focus on separator attribute, right? Yeah, just now we done the separator, right? Separator means what? Read that message. SCP means. Okay, so while writing the real-time coding, we need to understand first, if we don't know anything about the function, first of all, get some predefined support, which is in help command, help function, so that they can understand how many attributes it supports, how many properties it supports, right? SCP means what, guys? Separator. What is separator? What a message? You can read this message. String inserted between. Tell me a string inserted between. Guys, read that separator. What does it mean a separator here? Guys, read that message I'm asking. What's the message it's saying here? A string is inserted between the values. By default, string is inserted. By default space is printed, right? Guys, that's what here. If you see this message, I given the 3 values, right? Guys, I given the 3 values. Yeah. Guys, just I take the num1, num3, right? Num1, num2, num3. Just I'm printing num1, num2, num3. Is it I'm giving any space here? No, right? Num1, num2, num3, right? But by default, separator is taken as what between the variables? Yes, by default, between the variables, what it is taking? Space or not? That is called separator, guys. That is a separator that we discussed, right? Here, default separator is what? So here, default, tell me guys, here default separator.
Space.
Space, right? Exactly. But if you don't want space, whatever the data, if you want to give, just you can give the data, right? It's a separator attribute, guys. Next one is what? End attribute. See the end attribute, guys? String appended after the
last value.
after the last value, right? Exactly. Okay, see this case once, the string is appended after the last value. It means like, guess here, comma, end I can give. End equal to what? Some stars I can give, right? Guys, end means some stars I can give. Guys, first I can give like, separator. Separator, can I give some like, dollars, right? Guys, see the output once. I think you got the difference between the separator and end, right? Separator means what?
Between values.
It will separate the values.
Between the values, right? Between the values it is taken. Separator means between the values. End means what, guys? After the last value, right? Exactly. By default, what? By default it goes to new line. Default new line, guys. String appended after the last value, right? Guys, string appended after the last value, right? Default in new line, right? Default in new line. Okay, fine. Guys, now see, let me use like 3 values. SCP equal to what? Separator equal to separator equal to what? Separator equal to what? Stars I can give, comma, end equal to what? Dollars I can give. Separator equal star, dollar equal and end equal what? Dollars, right? Guys, this case what is expected output? Tell me now. Between the variables, which one is taken here? Guys, between the variables stars, end of the data it will take what? Dollar, right?
Dollars.
See this line, guys, here. See this line. So just you can remove these 2 lines so that we get the clear output. Yeah, this is the data, right? We got the difference between the star end separator and end, right? Guys, yes or no?
Yes.
Separator means what? The data. Separator means the data which is there. Tell me, num1, num2, num3, num1, num2, num3. Just you can take the num1, num2, num3. Just you can take the 3 lines, guys. See the output once. So first one is like separator dollar. Second one is what? Stars. Third one is what? Stars and dollar, right? Stars means between the variable and dollar it is taking, right? Exactly. Guys, any question? Separator and end is clear?
Sir.
Yes, CP means the data which is inserted between the values, right? Separator means a string inserted between values.
Okay, sir.
Inserted between the values. End means what, guys? The data which is inserted after the last value, right?
Last one.
After the last value. String appended after the last value. Guys, by seeing this predefined support, I can get this information, right? Exactly. Guys, this is all about what? Representation of your data, right? Percentage of formattings, backslash and separators, end. These all like formatting your data, right? Yes or no? Formatting your data or not?
Sir, formatting data.
Any questions? Guys, formatting the data, any questions?
It's
All,
clear.
all examples are clear, right? Exactly. Good.
A special format like date,
Sorry.
special format like date.
Yeah.
Can we apply some kind of mask here?
Yeah, formatting is, yeah, so something like that only.
Yes.
Guys, no good. Okay, just this is a way of taking the formatting the data and printing, representing the data. And we have the 4 data types in Python. So int, float, string, and what? Boolean, basic data types, right? Int, float, string, and what? Boolean, right? Exactly. Guys, next one is what? So taking input from end user. End user means like the end user, right? The person who are using the application, right? The person who are using the application is called end user. Taking the input from end user, guys. Because to take the input from end user, we are using like to take the input from end user, we are using input function, guys. Tell me what the function in here? Input function. So input function to take the input from end user, right? End user, guys. That's it. Input function to take the input from end user. Sir, you're saying that I want to check the predefined support about the input function. Yes, how can you check the predefined support about input function? How can you check the predefined support about input function?
Help.
Help, right? How? Tell me. Print of help of water.
Input.
Print of help of water input, right? That's it. Let's run this code. This is information about input function here. So help on built-in function input. So here you'll get the message. Yeah. Guys, this is input function information, right? Yeah, input function information, guys. Let me, because I want to check this code. This is input function information, right? Right click, I want to copy. But just I'm showing information how to check the predefined support, right? Yeah, the application point of this is important, right? As a developer, because you have to know the information about any function like this. Yes, help and built-in function input in module built-ins module. Because if you observed or not, the input function, print function, type function, we discussed how many functions? 3 functions, right? Input function. Tell me here, what are the functions we discussed? Input function, type function, input function, type function, and print function, right? These all functions are belongs to which module? Guys, predefined module, built-ins module. Built-ins is a module name. Okay, good. See, guys, read a string from standard input. Let's see here, reading input from. Let's read that message. Reading a string from standard input. Reading a string, guys, it means by default it will read the data in which format? Yes, by default read the data which format? Reading a string, right, from standard input. The trailing new line is skipped, right? Stripped means removed here. Okay, new lines will be removed, right? Exactly. The prompt string, if you given, is printed to standard output without a trailing new line before reading the input, right? It doesn't take like at the end of the data, guys. If the user hits the end of the line, Control D, raise an end of file error. Okay, fine. It's showing that input function, input function read a string format output, right? Guys, input function read a string data in which format? String format or not? Guys, input function reads the data in which format? String format, right? It's written in which format? String format here. That's what. Go to application, guys. We understood that point. Okay, fine. Because I want to take the input function, input of, tell me, guys, and I want to take 2 numbers. Enter first number. Because enter first number means he took the number that you can take the num1 format. Because input function, right? Num2 equal to input function, give the input message, enter which number, guys, your second number. Okay, then you can take the result equal to what? Num1 plus what? Num2. The result equal to what? Num1 plus num2, right? Just run this code simply. If you run this code, because I want to print the result also, just to print the result, guys. Exactly. Print the result once, print the result. Yes, just input function, guys. Just enter the first number, enter the second number. Result equal num1 plus num2, the numbers you are taking. After that, just printing result, right? Click on run button, guys. Guys, what the message it is asking?
First
Tell me, enter first number, right? I enter 100. Enter second number is what? 200. What is our expected output now?
300.
Hmm.
300.
Do you think 300 is correct answer?
Yes, sir.
I showed the predefined support, right? In the predefined support, it's saying that input function reads a data which format?
String format.
Reads a string format, right? Reads a string
100
format.
plus
Then
200.
100 plus 200 is what the value?
100
We
plus
got
200
the-
is,
100,
100,
200.
000, 200.
100, 200. Because string plus string, what happened, guys? Concatenation will be happen, right? Exactly. Even 10.5. Just you can take the 10.5, 20.3. Just you can run this one 10.5, 20.3. Concatenation, right? Even if you enter so Ratan, yeah, string data also Ratan, and you can take Anu. You got the Ratan Anu. Even if you enter the Boolean data also even. So Boolean data means what? So true I entered, false I entered. Even true, false we got the output, right? Yeah, it means what happened, guys? Any type of data that we entered, by default is taking which format? String format. String plus string means what happened, guys? It is doing concatenation, right? Guys, string plus string means what happened here? Concatenation or not? Enter first number 10, enter second number 20,
yes.
then we got output is what? 10, 20, right? Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah. So by default it is taking data in which format? Tell me then.
String
String.
format.
Exactly. So this is example 1. So input function take that in input function use it to take the input from end user. Next point is what, guys? Input function by default takes the input function by default takes the input in the form of what? In the form of which format, guys? String, right? Exactly. Guys, that is the reason if you take this code, it's saying the output like this, right? Yeah, it's saying output like this. So 10, 20 means we got the output is now 10 and 20. Enter first number 10.5, 20.3. We got the output is 10.5, 20.3. And if you enter Ratan and Anu, we got the output is what? Ratan Anu. And if you enter true, false, true and false, we got the output is what? True, false, right? Because string plus string means it is doing what is the operation? Tell me, string plus string means it is
Concatenation.
doing the operation concatenation, right? Exactly. String plus string means it is doing the operation is what? Concatenation, right? Exactly. That is information, guys. Taking input from end user, right? Yeah. Immediately you'll ask the question, sir, I don't want string format. Which format you want?
Int.
Number.
Like
Integer.
into format. Then we need to typecast into format. That's it. Very clear, right? So here also we need to typecast which format? Into format. Then you can run this code. We got the output is what? 10, 20, output is 30, right? Exactly. Guys, are it clear now? Yeah.
Is clear.
Now
Yes.
just by default taking the string format. Now we are converting which format? Conversion of what? String to int, right? Conversion of string to integer. There is a data. Very clear now. Conversion of what? Conversion of what? A string to integer, right? This example 2. No, sir, I want float format. Just where we need to do modification, tell me. Here, just you can make the float format. Just you can make the float format, right? Nitisha, please switch off the video. Just you can type the float, right? Float and float. This input, Nitisha, please stop the video. Yeah. Guys, enter first number, like, enter first number. By default, take the data which format, guys? Guys, by default, takes it in which format?
String format.
By default, string format. But if you want integer format, means you can do type conversion or string integer format. Or if you want, like, float format, means in typecast to float format, right? Exactly. Guys, 10.5 and 20.2. Guys, 30.7 is output, right? Exactly. Good. Good. Guys, there is one example, right? This is like conversion of string to what? String to float, right? Yeah. So this is the output. Yeah. This is the output, right? And here it will be the output, right? Exactly. Guys, are you clear now? Example 3, example 4. Guys, you can make an instead of example, you can take the cases format. I think this is a case 1. I find example 1 or case 1. Example 1, taking input by default format, the string format, conversion of what? String to integer, conversion of string to floater. Sir, everything is fine, sir. But the point is, sir, I will take, like, let me run this code. Enter first number. I took the Ratan. Yes, is it Ratan to? I entered the input function, take the data string format. I enter the string. But the string to I convert which format, guys? Here, float format, right? Number 1. The string to float conversion is possible or not possible?
Not possible.
Guys, in entire Python, guys, where the type conversion is not possible, yeah, where the type conversion is not possible, you will get the error, like, value error. Don't forget this point. Frequent you will get these issues. Whenever the type conversion is not possible, you will get the error is which error, guys? Yeah. Guys, if the type conversion is not possible, you will get the error. What's the error here? Value error, right? Exactly. If the type conversion is not possible, guys, if the type conversion is not possible, we will get which error, guys? Here, we'll get which error, guys? Here, value error, right? Exactly. The first error, guys. Okay. So in below example, we enter the first number Ratan, but Ratan is unable to convert into which format, guys? Float format, right? Because in below example, yes, in below example, we enter first number. First number is what? First number is a string format, right? First number is a string, Ratan, but it is unable to convert into, unable to convert into which format? Float, right? Float. So we will get what? Error, right?
Value error.
We'll get the value error. Okay, fine. We'll get the value error, right? Guys, value error is clear, huh? Guys, if the type conversion is not possible, they immediately can think like, if the type conversion is not possible, we'll get the value error. Could not convert string to which format, guys? Float, right?
Float.
Could not convert the string to float format. Guys, everyone is clear about this error, right?
Yeah.
If the type conversion is not possible, you will get this error, guys. Guys, this is a way how can we take the data from end user using which function, guys? Here, input function, right? Take the input data from which function? Input function, right? Exactly. Yeah. Because example 5, generally in the offline classes, like live classes, I will tell you just to take the employee ID and employee name and employee salary. Just I'll give the 2 minutes time. Take student ID, student name, student average marks, student average marks, student average marks. Take these three values from end user, print the data using formatting. Guys, take the three variables, three values from student. What are three values? ID, name, and average marks. Print the data using formatting F. Guys, I think very simple, right? In offline classes means I will check the notes, your notes, whether you have written that example or not. But this is online class, right? At least you complete the code and place in chart. I hope you know how to take the input from end user and you know how to print the data using F, right? Yeah, this is example like, taking input from end user input function and formatting the data means using F, right? Yeah, this is a syntax that we need. Yeah, in front of you, I will place the syntax if you face any issues. I hope this is input function. We know that input function. Yeah, this is the formatting. But just I'll give the 2 minutes time. You try to complete that example, place in chat. If anyone done that example, please place in chat immediately. You guys can hear me?
Yes,
Did you complete the example?
almost.
Okay, right. Reminding guys, everyone, don't waste the time. Please try yourself based on today class. You know how to format the data. Do you know how to take the data from end user, right? Anyone completed? If possible, you write the code in directly. You write the code directly in online compiler. Just you can run the code. Sumit. Enter student name, string student ID. Okay. And student average marks. Just you are taking ID and name, fine. Take the complete, no? Student ID, name and average marks. Student ID, name and average marks. And formatting using F. What about remaining people? Yeah. Okay, so it's simple code. Just you can just check in ID here. Basically, first student ID I want to take. The student ID means what? This SID equal to input function you can take. Enter what? Just you can enter student name, enter student ID, right? Enter student ID. Because by default ID in which format? By default input function takes it in which format? String format. But I want which format, guys?
Integer.
Integer format, right? Just we need to typecast which format?
INT.
Into format, right? Better typecast into format. Next one is what? Student name. Student name means what? Something like, enter enter student name, right? Enter student name. That's it. Because name is string format. Student average marks. Student average marks. Then input function. So enter average marks. Average marks. Average marks, but I want which format, guess here? Maybe I will take the float format because I'll enter the data in float format, right? Print the data using formatting means what? Starting of this message, the starting of the data student ID. Student ID, just you can braces SID, right? SID. If you want backslash n, we can use backslash and go to the new line. Next one is what? Student name, student ID and student name, right? Student name. Student name means what, guys? Yes, name I can use. Last like backslash n. Last one is what? Student AVJ marks, average marks. Just you can place the S AVJ marks, right? Exactly. That is a code you can write. Just you can run this code, guys. If you run this code, enter student ID. We give the 111, enter name, Ratan, enter average marks, 80.9 I enter, right? See guys here, student ID is 111, student name is Ratan, and the student average marks is what? 80.9, right? We got the 3 details or not? Exactly. Guys, everyone is clear, right? It's very small assignment, kind of assignment. Take the 3 values take the 3 values from student ID, name, and average marks. Print the data using F, right? The answer for this one is like, this is a code, guys. Guys, are you clear, right, everyone? Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Guys, I hope everyone has understood this example, right? So data types in Python is like basic data types into float, string, Boolean. And these are 3 variables, means you can make it a single line. Python is dynamically typo language, so no need to declare the data types. And different ways to print the data, guys. And even you can use the formatting like percentile format F, right? And we can use like backslash n, and we can use separator also. And to get the help of any predefined function, you can use a help function. So print of separator, guys, end and end attribute and separator attribute, you understood, right? Separator means the data inserted between the values. Yeah, between the values, guys. Separator means between the values. End means what? At the end of all values, right? Exactly. Yes, to take the input from end user, we are using input function. Input function by default take the data which format, a string format. If you want integer format, means you can convert integer format. If you want float format, means you can convert the float format. If the type conversion is not possible, you get the value error, guys. And I given some small assignment like input take the ID, name, and marks. Just I'm printing the data using F, right? Exactly. Guys, this is the day 3 notes. So just you can check that this is the day 3 notes here. Guys, we done the 3 demo classes. So the guys who are going to continue from tomorrow can please complete the formalities, fee payments, complete the fee payments, and join the class tomorrow. Yes, demo classes just we taken up to 5:15, like it's 5:15 almost. So once if we complete the formalities and all, just we'll take the this is the fast track, right? We will take the 2 hours per day. Guys, any questions?
Is this the fixed time?
Yeah, this is a fixed time, 4 o'clock. Yeah. Bye guys. Tomorrow we'll meet.
So Ratan,
Yeah, tell me.
just wanted to check whether it is possible from Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday as on holiday.
Yeah, mostly Monday to Friday only. Saturday is off. We can take off.
Okay, then we can take this as a confirmation, na?
Yeah, definitely. So guys, see how the class on Monday to Friday, but Saturday busy with some.
Yeah. Okay, then we will
Yeah, the
pay
Saturday.
the fees. Okay.
You can take Monday to Friday, 2 hours class will be better for you, right?
Yeah. Thanks.
Bye guys. Tomorrow we'll meet by 4 o'clock.
Bye. See you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.